So, I am a massive fan of your channel.
Thank
I
you.
watch it all the time, especially because of the intro. That's my favorite part. I told you
You're my beautiful internet friend, except you're my real friend now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you've transitioned. It's awesome.
And I will say, I would prefer you when we meet in person to still tell me that I'm a beautiful, wonderful, talented. That would be great if every time we met in person you said that.
Dominic, my beautiful, delightful, intelligent internet real friend.
Oh, well, thanks, Joe. That was so kind of you to say that, completely unprompted. But no, I love, it's my favorite part of watching your channel and just always getting that little, starting with that positive affirmation. Yeah. Is that something you practice? Do you practice like positive affirmations?
I actually don't at all.
Really?
Ever. Yeah.
That's so surprising.
I do, and I never have. Should I?
Totally, that's so surprising. You know, for some of us, it is not easy to be so happy, Joe.
Just it exudes from me. I don't know.
Exactly. Oh, that's so interesting. So, no, I love it because watching your channel, it's always so cool just to see you. I think one of my favorite parts of watching you is just the attitude you present about everything. For those who haven't had a chance to see your channel, Footless Joe, a lot of it has to do with your amputation. Oh,
it does indeed.
For those who didn't know, so let's go back for a second. Before I even ask any questions, how do you feel about questions?
Oh yeah, that's a good question, Doc.
Oh, thank you.
Questionception.
Yeah, questionception.
Ooh. I'm all for questions, and I think it's an important caveat to note that not every amputee is all for questions.
Right.
But I think I've been on both sides of being someone who has a visible disability or visible difference versus being someone who it wasn't clear to see, right? And I know that when I was on the side of it wasn't clear to see, and like I looked like an average, normal, whatever you want to call it, person.
An average Joe, if you will. I just had to pay you back for the stand-up thing. All right.
Well done. But I think it's like I remember being in the place of like seeing amputees around and being like, I know I'm not supposed to stare, but oh my God, okay, what's going on there? And like, okay, like I want, like, can I ask what happened? No, I can't ask. What, like, just like being that, being like, I'm really curious because it's human to be curious, but I know I'm not supposed to say things. And now being on this side of it, I'm like, if you have a question, ask me. Ask me. I think if like you don't know me in person, right? Asking, like, if you see someone in a grocery store, being like, hey, I have a question. Do you like, are you in a space where I can ask you, or do you mind if I ask you something? Is always a good intro because sometimes I'm not in the frame of mind where I want to talk about this. Sometimes a lot of people aren't. But for the most part, I want to have conversations instead of people just staring. Because I get a lot of, like, I'll walk into a coffee shop and someone will be like talking to their friend, and like they'll both be staring. I'm like, dude, just ask me.
You're like, hi. Do you ever take off your leg and just wave it at them? Hello.
The waving thing, but I have taken it off in public, and I'm like, I know how weird this looks, but you know what? It's more comfortable. Or the airplane, handing my leg to someone to put in an overhead bin. That has happened.
No way.
The flight attendants are like, yep, absolutely.
You're like, sure.
Is this normal? Have you experienced this before? Or are you just so good at pretending like things don't affect you?
Yeah, exactly. So, as I've told you before, I have friends.
You have friends?
I have friends. Did you know that?
Sorry, please continue.
No, so I've had a lot of loved ones in my life who have also had amputations.
Which is so random and awesome. Yeah.
Isn't that so random?
Yeah.
It's crazy. My son's grandmother on his mom's side, it had the amputation.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I told you the story about the first time.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was on camera. So as I said, my son's grandmother, she had an amputation. The very first time I met her, you know, it was like my first time meeting his mom's parents. It was a big deal.
Oh yeah. Best behavior.
Best behavior.
Yeah,
best behavior,
absolutely.
Right. And so, you know, she's this little old Mexican lady who always goes around the house in her pajamas.
Oh, so cute.
So she's always kind of like walking in her pajamas, and she had this really fun little waddle to her, you know, and everything. And I just thought because she was old and adorable.
Yeah, you know.
And so she sits down. We haven't even had dinner yet, and she's like, it's Dominic, right? I said, yeah. She goes, can you help an old lady get her shoe off? I just can't get it off. And I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah, I'm a gentleman. I could do this. Yeah.
What better way to make a first impression than to help you. Right, yeah, so I do. I get down, I'm like, let me help you out. And then I go and I start pushing, and I can see it's really on there, you know, and she goes, oh yeah, my feet swell up. I mean, you really gotta pull. And I go, okay. And so I start pulling, and she's like, don't worry, you won't hurt me. Pull as hard as you can. And I was like, are you sure? She goes, yeah. I go, yeah. And I pull off her leg completely off.
I love her.
And then she just starts dying. She falls back and she's laughing so hard.
She's done it like a dozen times.
Oh yeah, she's dying. And then my son's mother comes in the room and goes, Grandma, did you do the leg thing? And I'm just sitting there like,
Needing counseling after that.
Freaking out.
It's amazing.
It's awesome. So she's, you know, she makes all these jokes about it all the time. It's hilarious. But my mentor, the guy who actually taught me guitar, from the time I was 12 to I was 17, he was like one of my best friends of all time.
Yeah.
He actually recently had an amputation.
Oh, how recent?
Wildly enough, he had a gunshot wound.
Oh, wow.
But to the same place, to the ankle.
Yeah.
Just like yours.
Yeah.
And same thing, surgery after surgery after surgery. And then they had to amputate his leg, and he had to petition to get it, for it to happen. Have you heard about this?
Oh, I have. Sometimes people are left in very difficult situations because the medical community won't listen to the fact that your pain is very real.
That's exactly where he was at. He just recently, literally a few days ago, had the surgery to where now it can
like another amputation. They chop a little bit more off.
And the craziest part about this was I'm on the phone with him and he's telling me about it, and I go, you know what's weird? I'm gonna go do a YouTube episode with my buddy Joe, who's also an amputee, and he goes, is it Footless Joe?
So nuts to me. Like, that's just nuts.
Yes. And mind you, he lives in California, and he's like I love Footless Joe.
That's amazing.
And he was saying that like your videos have helped him through his process, like everything from you showing your morning routine. Because for him, he's kind of like, you know, he's kind of out in the dark. He's like, there's no manual on how to have an amputation.
No.
Right?
Don't hand it to you when you wake up.
Exactly.
Like,
so here's the best. You think they'd be like, well, here's some good pointers, but he's just like, so watching your channel, he's like, I love her stuff. He's like, I watch it all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now he sent me these pictures. I don't know if you want to see.
Yes.
The craziness, but I want to get the reaction on camera. I will, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Charlie, I won't say your name on camera.
Guy,
I'm really
you just did
bad
it.
at this. Okay. So here you go. Are you ready? It's gnarly because it's fresh.
Oh, I've seen it before.
Are you ready? Yeah. You ready for it? So here he is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks really good.
Yeah. So
seriously.
He was really happy about it. And I guess they said they take the calf muscle and throw it over. So
it's so weird.
Isn't that wild?
So weird. Yeah, they'll like cut the bone, but then like leave the calf muscle longer and then fold it up around so that there's padding at the bottom.
So that there's padding and protection. So I asked him if he could flex it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you flex it?
Yeah.
You can flex it?
Totally.
That's so sweet.
It's so weird. I love it.
That's super awesome.
But it looks like it's healing very well, Charlie.
He's super happy about it. He said it's such a relief. I mean, you can see the joy on his face.
100%. Seriously.
From just
I think that's what a lot of people don't get is that sometimes losing a limb or sometimes having major surgery is like the best thing because life before that is so not great.
Right. Right.
Not that it's fun. It's not fun, but like it is such a relief to be able to move forward with life, and I really hope that enables him to be able to find a prosthetic and walk.
He's just stoked about it.
Yeah,
he's like, you know, because he's had 4 years on just a kind of a roller.
Oh yeah.
And everything, and so now he's like, I get a walk.
So cool.
And so to shift gears, I want to know, aside from all the things, what's the best part about being an amputee? What's the best part of only having one meat leg?
One meat leg. I think I always struggle if this sounds really narcissistic or weird, but it is honestly how I feel.
Yeah.
I think it's great to have a platform. It's great to have a reason to talk to people, to have a reason to talk about the things that I care about.
Yeah.
Like, I think it has made me more interesting to other people, which has not changed who I am as a person at all, but like it's a jumping off point, and I'm so grateful for those conversations. I'm grateful to like be a part of the conversation and have people be like, oh, being an amputee is not your entire life. It's not your entire identity. Like having a disability or dealing with something that's visibly off is not your entire existence. Like, I think it's powerful to have something that's different about you and lean into it.
Right.
And now there's something that's visibly different than me that I can lean into.
It seems like people are so deathly afraid of being different.
Yes.
There's this fear, like, oh no, if I express myself in any way, I will stand out. Right? I don't want to be
I'll be the other.
Yes, yes. But yet at the same time, there are so many people being praised for being different or standing out or that kind of thing. There's this, it's like the dying to fit in, killing to stand out sort of thing. And so I obviously now you wear your difference visibly.
Yes.
It's nothing that can be denied.
Yeah.
Anything like that. And so obviously people notice that there's a difference or anything like that. So was that a factor before? I mean, were you worried about, oh, am I going to get stares? Am I going to get...
Right.
You know, was that a factor? And then now that you live with it, how much of a factor is it really?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. It was something that I had in my mind that okay, this is something I'm gonna have to deal with, but my mindset at the time was it'll be fine. Vastly underestimating the impact that losing the ability to be invisible in public was really difficult.
That's so interesting.
It's I had the option before, right? If I wanted to fit in or if I was having a bad day and really limping and it was clear that I was standing, I had the option. I could just disappear, and I don't have that anymore, and it was really unnerving. And it's just been a process of getting used to it. I honestly think having a YouTube channel has been one of the most helpful things for me for two reasons. First of all, I'm showing my difference to hundreds of thousands of people, and the feedback is primarily really, really kind.
Right. I see. It's so funny. I'm just realizing it as we're talking because, to be completely transparent, I remember the very first time we met.
Yeah.
I noticed, as you walked away, that you had a prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
And then it was after that I found out about your YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Because we met at Jimmy's. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Started watching and all this stuff. And admittedly, not a big deal. We're friends. We hang out when the cameras aren't on. It's not a big deal. But the funny thing is that, the first time we spoke, I was very curious. I want to know about the amputation and all of that. Yeah. But since we spoke, I have to be conscious of it. That we're even, it's oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's hard to even interview because I just want to be what's up, Joe? How was your day? I don't think about it until it's
Well, I think that's the, to me anyways, that's one of the powers of normalizing something, or at least what I'm trying to do through YouTube or through other mediums is once you start knowing a person, the weirdness of something or the differentness of something just sort of naturally dissipates without you even thinking about it, right? Then you get to see people as people more than just this one thing.
Yeah, because the only thing that makes it different is that you don't see it every day with everybody.
Yes.
So whenever there's just a slight difference, obviously it's going to catch your eye.
Yes.
But then once that stigma goes away, then it goes back to being, kind of casual. And I have one of my favorite quotes from any movie is there's a line in a movie where a guy says, since when is normal any fucking prize?
Yes.
Right?
I love that.
Which is, I love that so much.
Yeah.
Whenever I want to take a risk, or whenever I want to get out of my comfort zone, or whenever I want to do anything like that, there are times that I'll go, oh, but that might be a little too much.
Yes.
That might be a little...
Tone it down, tone it down.
Yeah. I don't want to be too much. But then I think the through line is that we all want to look perfect.
Oh, yeah, right?
Whether it's physically or whether it's emotional.
Yeah.
I went through that. I battled with depression for 10 years, deep neurotic depression.
Yeah.
And one of the most damaging things that continued my depression was the fact that I was never open about my emotions, open about how I was feeling with anybody, even myself.
Oh, yeah, right?
Because I was always no. I don't want to appear messed up.
Yes.
I don't want to appear...
It takes so much energy to not appear messed up when you're drowning.
The thing that gave me permission to be bold and be open about my feelings was when others would be open about theirs.
Yeah.
Right? Was that
huge?
You see everybody around and everybody seems like they're so well off or well adjusted or something. And then you just hear somebody be like, man, I'm fucked up. And then you're like, hold on, me too, me too. And I realized that's my superpower in comedy. If you watch my stand-up or my channel or whatever, the majority of it is me going, hey, you want to hear how fucked up I am? You want to hear how much I've messed up, all the stupid things I've thought or said? Do you want to hear my... And there's no greater feeling of connection with human beings than when you get up on stage and you go, in any platform, whether it's making a video or anything, and you just go, hey, here's this awful thought I had, or here's this crazy thing I did I've never told anybody. And then you get a laugh, because what a laugh means is that
people connect with that.
Whether they want to talk about it or not, they relate. And so it just kind of shows that we're all broken. You know, I like to think about it as puzzle pieces. We're all broken, and when we expose that brokenness is the only way we can kind of connect.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Right?
Oh, and it's so accurate, too. And it does give people permission. Like, there have been countless people in my life, because like I said, I'm professional at hiding things and like stuffing everything down, not gonna feel anything. Everything's great, you know? Like, I'm really good at that. And I used to think that that was a good thing. And sure, in some situations, all right, but for the most part, no. Like, the people who have shown me vulnerability have saved my life. Sincerely, because it invites that, like you were talking about.
Right, and once again, I think that a lot of times, your channel for me is kind of like a living metaphor for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Like, it is really cool. And yeah, I think it makes me very aware of the things that could be impacted and the moments. I think more than anything, it's like the moments things are good, because there are some moments where it really hurts and where I can't do anything, and that gets frustrating sometimes, but like the moments when I can, it's, oh, this sounds so cheesy, but like it's really taught me to like live more in the moment and like be grateful for the day. I hate saying that stuff because it sounds like every like positive thinking expert out there, and like there's more to it, but it really does make you appreciate the moments. Think, like, okay,
maybe there's something to that.
I don't know, maybe.
You know, I mean, I know that it's cliche and try it, but it's like, try it.
Yeah, reason, precisely.
Maybe try it, but, you know.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about what it'd be like if I had a prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
Right. And I was thinking, here's the part that would be greatest for me.
Yes.
Is that I always lose my socks.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You don't need a sock.
I wanted to ask you. I was like, do you put a sock on the prosthetic?
Bad news for you, yes, I do. But it doesn't have to match. That's the great thing. It doesn't have to match. So when the sock gremlins come and they take it out of the dryer.
These sock gremlins! Because here's what happens. I always do laundry, and no matter what, when I do laundry, I even go so far as to fold my matching socks.
Oh, yeah.
And still, I can't get matches. At least 8 socks. I think the dryer eats socks.
It does.
And then,
it's a scientifically proven fact.
And then I pull it out, and I have all these mismatched socks, and I go, if only I had one leg, I wouldn't have to worry about it.
You don't. Also, one of them is never going to get sweaty or stinky, so you have half the amount of socks you actually have to do. Or my favorite is, well, my feet sweat like everybody, so I get one foot that smells really nasty.
Yeah.
But if I don't have an extra pair of socks that day, all I have to do is switch it. And then I have a brand new sock because the sock that's been on this foot doesn't smell.
It's like it's almost like a preserver. It's like a sock preserver.
It's really just keeping one in reserve.
Yes,
I love that. 100%.
I love that. I wish I could do that. And I want you to know, I've said this.
Well, listen, Dominic, there's a way that you can. Let me introduce you to.
That's the thumbnail. Is me with my leg up and Joe with an axe.
It was worth it for the sock.
It was. There are times, but no. That's how much That's how important us hanging out together is that I have matching socks. I match socks for no one.
I'm so important.
Like literally, special occasions only do I match socks. If I have to have all these mismatched socks, there are times I'll be like, what am I doing today? Just going to work? No
Forget
matching
it.
socks. No way. I don't have the time. So I have like this reserve of like, all right.
Special occasion matchy socks.
It's a big day. I'm gonna match my socks.
That's amazing.